So because it's a holiday weekend here in America, I wanted to post a really quick video to kind of update my regular viewers on how I finished this coffered ceiling, but I also wanted to frame it as a PSA to people that are planning on taking on large or what they think are small DIY projects. So this whole project started as just a room remodel. It's not a big room, but it's bad DIY. The original plan was just to vault the ceiling and update the moldings, which were kind of clamshelled 80s base moldings, paint, semi-quick project that turned into quite a large ordeal just because of how poorly the room was done. And you'll see throughout the video how you'll think you're biting off a small project and it turns into quite a large one. So this whole room started with, I made these French doors last year. I have a whole series on the channel about how I made them, and it involved, there was an AC unit down here, obviously that was replaced with the mini split to the right, and it involved taking out one of these windows. Now when I did this project, it kind of geared me up for when this was in the spring and I started the full remodel in the fall, and I knew when I took apart this wall that the framing, something was off, wasn't really adding up. A lot of the verticals were 4x4s and they were painted, which at that point I assumed this room used to be a covered porch that they then converted into a full room. So this involved taking down the drywall, which was honestly the easiest part of the build. It was held up with this regular framing, which I could take down because it wasn't structural. And then that exposed the fact that all of the beams were 2x6s, which is undersized for what they were. So I spent weeks adding 2x8s, sistering them all up, getting them in place in order to then take out these skylights, which were leaking. The skylights kind of evolved into the project. The customer was deciding whether or not they wanted to remove them. Once we saw the rot damage, we decided to remove them. That involved then patching the roof and adding new torch down as a temporary fix, because this whole roof will have to be replaced because all of the sheathing on the roof is rotted and compromised, and the torch down on the roof they knew was kind of at the end of its life. So this was a patch. So at this point I still haven't even really started the original project, which was this, vaulting the ceiling. I added a moisture barrier, I vented the ceiling, which I did not film, and then I added this exterior grade ply to the ceiling. Now because it was bad DIY, and you would most likely have this problem with any ceiling, it's similar to floors, they're not going to be perfectly flat. So getting all this up, I knew there was going to be seams, at which point I had planned to cover them with a coffered style ceiling. I planned out the projection for all of my crowns so the crown would go up easier and I wouldn't have any problems. You can see how the projection for the crown comes off the wall, meets that coffered ceiling, and that brings me to the point of the video, which is, to me, building stuff is the easy part. So once you've done it, or you know how to make a cabinet, you can make almost anything furniture wise. It's the planning, figuring out how to get stuff done, and that is a issue that is not really covered in a lot of these videos. It's the how to make things, not the how to plan things. So you can see my process is now much easier because I knew I was going to have seams. I cheated the seams to all my intersections so that they would then be easy to cover up. Like I said, I knew I was going to have crowns, so I calculated my projection so the crown would go up easily. Now, I was finally on a roll, and during that process, there was a leaky spot in one of the corners. So at this point, the wainscoting was still on the walls. I decided to start pulling them off and found this huge rot spot in the corner. This actually really pissed me off because they had this mini split installed about 2 years ago. You could see from the video there's absolutely no way the person that installed this did not know this wall was completely rotted through. they knew it, and instead of saying something so it was easier to replace without the mini split being in the way, they just continued to install it and never told them that that was an issue. There was also another huge rot spot on the other side of the wall, and when I took off all the drywall and the bottom wainscoting, you could see my suspicions were confirmed. At one point they must have had like a chair rail fence on this pad, and then they just decided to add all of their bracing on top of it. So then I had to go through and add studs, sister up all the studs that went from the ceiling to the floor, because there was not a single stud in that room that went from the ceiling to the floor. It was all a half wall. You could see by the level it was bowing out. So that was another couple weekends added onto this job. But then back to finishing the ceiling, because at this point I think most of the problems were fixed because the room was completely gutted at this point. I decided to make these caps to cover my seams, and I put rabbets on the bottom so that they could be easily adjustable on the ceiling, and they're just decorative caps. We tried chamfering the edges to see if we liked that, but the person that owns the house decided they liked them square. And because this is a ceiling, like I said, nothing's perfect. So the way I decided to do this was cut little pieces to flank either side of where I wanted that flange. These sit perfectly flush front to back on that coffered section, as well as on the beadboard that's on there. And then I could just put the cap right in place without worrying about there being any gaps between the cap and what is already there. So you can see once I have this in place, I can adjust it however I want it to. And this is the importance of planning. I knew I was going to have to do something like this. I didn't know how I was going to do it necessarily. I don't get that far advanced. But it made covering those seams so much easier, planning that out beforehand in my head. And then for the corners, it's the same process. I just had to miter them, and I could cap all of my corners. So now all of the seams in that beadboard, because I also didn't spend the time to line up that beadboard, are covered. At this point, I could go back and reattach the wainscoting, but they had put all of this stuff flat on the concrete pad. Concrete is porous, so every time it rains, it's going to absorb that moisture and then send it through the wood that's on the walls. So all of that was rotted. In order to finish this up, you could see I'm now shimming all of my pieces a good 3/4 inch off the floor, and I'm adding trim to this to modernize it a little bit. And you don't have to necessarily do this before you add the trim, but I decided to demarcate where my trim's going as I put this in place, and that is because this stuff is tongue and groove together. I broke a couple pieces while I was doing it, and I knew if I didn't want to have to go buy more, that these demarcations of the OSB would mean I would not need about 5 pieces of this material, and I wouldn't have to go buy more. So the last piece fits into place pretty snugly. It's the height of the summer, the height of humidity, so all of this stuff going forward will only shrink. So the joints aren't super tight, but they are snug. And then this was filmed the morning before uploading this video. I'm finally at a point where I'm just about it for trim and paint. All of the big problems have been solved, fingers crossed. But the next part of this process is going to be the fact that, surprise, surprise, every single one of these windows is not square and not plumb. So a lot of them are flush with the drywall on the bottom, but when you get to the top, some of them are off by more than 1/4 inch, which means all of my moldings, especially the ones I want to run across the entire top, are going to have to be tweaked. And in some part of these windows, you could see it's 3/8 of an inch, this window sticking into the room.